Sorry, it's 2 a.m. and I feel like talking shit. Niggas just lie for no fucking reason. I remember when I dated this guy Morgan. He was working on his issues of being a pathological liar because he's got a lot wrong with him. But he really was trying. He was trying not to look impressive to other people and make up false stories because he knew it was just shooting himself in the foot one way or another. But once we were in bed after like a sleepover with each other and we signed up for this like video game marketing thingy, where they send you like video games that you can play. They'll give you even as high as up to like $2,000 just to test video games and keep it on the hush hush. And it's really fucking cool. And simply put, I'll put it this way: I had been telling everyone I fucking knew about that because I thought it was so fucking tight. And I was recommending people left and right. And eventually, like, I got Morgan to sign up. I convinced him to. Because I was tired of this nigga complaining about being poor or whatever. And also, it's like, nigga, you play video games all the time. You're obsessed with them. All you have to do is sign up. It's so fucking easy. Shut the fuck up. So, anyway, but I also was already signed up for those things. So I'm laying there in bed with Morgan, and he gets a phone call, and I say, "Ooh, it might be the VGM people. Pick it up. Maybe they'll contact you." He picks it up. He's like, "Hello." The dude on the other end is super friendly. He's like, "Hi, just here to do. Is this Morgan? I'm here to do that survey about video game testing." And I thought to myself, Morgan's the perfect match because whenever I got reached out to, they always list games that he knows always. And like even when I haven't known all the games, they still will sometimes offer me an opportunity myself. And so I thought he's a shoe in for this. But guess what? Eventually, as they get down to talking, he knows every single game, and I know he does. And then he lists a game that I don't think he's played, and it's something like, I don't know. It's that Blind Knight or whatever, Blind Prince, Blind whatever the fuck that game is. It's a game that Morgan didn't have, and Morgan thought he could get out of it. So while he was on the phone, he looks up the video game title, and when they're like, "Okay, so if you had to, how would you describe like a synopsis of the game, like since you've played it and all?" And Morgan just perfectly like opens up his phone and he's like, "Oh, yeah, so I'd say it's a really good game. It's about this like this knight who travels through the forest and searches for his lover who's a wolf and da 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 da." And he's talking about the game plot, and he does it so well that, and you just hear a pause, and then on the other end you hear the person on the speaker go, "Haha, wow, you did so well at describing that game. Huh, it's almost word for word what it's like on the Wikipedia page for said game, but okay, continuing on." And then Morgan knew he fucked up then. And then at some point, the guy, you could hear the guy was just trying to contain his laughter, but also his cynicism. And he was like, "So, since you know so much about the game and you said you've beaten it, can you tell me more about level 7?" And then at that point, Morgan just hung the fuck up. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I said, "What was that for?" He said, "I don't know. I didn't know the game and I looked it up and I lied." And I said, specifically at the beginning of each phone call, they say repeatedly, it's like fucking at least bare minimum 3 times, to not lie about your answers and to just be honest. You already knew all of the other games. Why did you feel like you had to lie about one single game? They bring up like 8 titles to you, and then you didn't know the 8th one and you thought they were just gonna kick you out. He was like, I don't know, I'm sorry. I fucked that up big time. Fuck. And I was disappointed in him because it's like it was the dumbest shit ever. And then guess what? Like eventually, like we got to talking and he was really beat up about it, and I was like, "Hey, listen, how about this? I can just text them sometime, and then like I can just be like, I can, if I do the survey and it doesn't go well, I can just recommend you through like texting them later on or something. It might work." He was like, "I don't know if it will. They probably won't want me." And I said, "Maybe it will." Guess what? Like clockwork, I got called. And I remember specifically, I had a, oh yeah, 1 second. I remember specifically me and Mr. Yeah, the VGM people called me. And this time, I forget if it was the exact same guy or if it was a lady. All I know is on the phone, I went through it. I gave my honest answers. I admitted that I didn't know much about the games they were talking about, and all I knew was fucking Honey Pop and like Beholder 1 and 2 and a little bit of Saints Row. And they were like, "Oh, we don't know if we'll choose you for this round, but like feel free to talk to us again." And I said, "Oh, out of curiosity, is there any chance I can recommend someone that you can contact on my behalf?" And then they said, "Oh, sure, go for it." And then, Morgan kind of perked up. But then or at least like only slightly, just ever so slightly. But then I said, yeah, I would like to recommend a friend of mine. His name is Liam. And then Morgan just fully turned his head hella fucking angry at me as he heard me say my ex-boyfriend Liam's full name, full city and address that he lived in, full phone number, email, all that to get reached out to. And then and right as I was gonna say, I can also recommend you more people as well. The person was like, "Oh, don't worry, you can always just text us that later." But yeah, have a good day. And I hung up, and then guess what? As soon as I hung up, Morgan was pitching a bitch, and it was one of the worst fights we had. Well, we've had. I'm saying that as if I haven't really put hands on that nigga in self defense. He was trying to assault me. I whooped his ass just like Lionel Richie's ex-wife did when he had a white bitch in their bed. But if you've seen that scene from the Boondocks. It's a great scene, look it up. But simply put, like, Morgan, I remember we were getting dressed because he was gonna, take me to the bus station and he was gonna also drive to work. And he was like, "So why did you do that to me?" And I was like, "What?" And he said, "So why did you do that? You said you were gonna recommend me." And I said, "Yeah, but think about it. It's only been like a few minutes. Obviously it's the same person we were just on the phone with. They aren't gonna, like, if I told them your exact name and your phone number and they called, like, they would kind of know something was up. Because it's like, think about it. I said I would text them and I was going to text them. You heard me on the phone say I was going to also recommend more than one person. And simply put, yeah, if they got off the phone with you and then 5 minutes later they talk to me and then I mysteriously say they should contact you again and list your whole name and number and all that, I'm just saying, and like, you shouldn't be mad at me. And he kept trying to pitch a bitch about it and kept trying to accuse me of loving my ex more than him. Mind you, I was fucking both at the time. Both of them knew that. And I'm not proud of what I did next. Was I kind of manipulative? Yeah, but I don't know. Morgan's also. Let's just say your girl had to put on a crying act and start doing a little bit of deflection and shit. Just being like, "Oh my god, you hate me so." Like, I don't remember what I said exactly. All I know is I got out of that situation pretty well. Or at least for a few minutes, and then he got mad at it again because he still held a fucking grudge. But that's not my issue. But eventually, like, the fight did boil over, and I was just like, "You motherfucker, why are you mad at me when you were the one who lied? I didn't fuck up any opportunity for you. You're mad at me because you fucked up an opportunity. They called you first. You had no reason to lie. You had the opportunity in your hands, and you lied, and you lost. You lose. Good day, sir." And then they called me, and then guess what? I recommended my nigga who lives in another fucking county, who lives even closer to the area where they're gonna, and it's like that, and it's like that nigga actually is trying to get money to move out, mind you, from his shitty ass parents' place. He's trying to make money to, like, actually get his own apartment and, like, get some savings and stuff. Of course, I'm gonna say his name first. I'm not gonna say the name of a nigga who, like, it's like, that's your punishment. You told me you were gonna stop lying, and then you decided to lie again, and then now you're trying to worsen a situation you made out of your own volition because you feel like projecting your anger at me instead of internalizing it and coping with it. You made a mistake and deal with it. But yeah. But then again, that is kind of Morgan's character. He does that with almost everything in his life. He'll be like, "Oh my god, Tamia no longer loves me anymore. She's different now." And I'll be like, "Yeah, nigga, it's because you're fucking evil." Like, the main common denominator in how I treated you back then and how I treat you now is how you've treated me, dumbass. That nigga was just terrible in so many ways, but I don't want to make this video super dark. I'm trying to keep it light. But I don't know, it does baffle me when niggas just lie. Like, over the dumbest shit. I've mentioned it before. We all saw the video, and I think that's how a bunch of y'all got to my page. That time I went on that date with that dude Riley. The first date, I remember he was sus as fuck. He was like, "Let me go ahead and hide the fact." Oh my god. So I remember, like, the topic of, like, living with people came up. I said, "I live with a housemate. Do you live with anybody?" And he got scarily quiet, or da 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 da. But he did talk about it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Out of curiosity, like, he mentioned that he was moving soon, so all I said was something along the lines of, "Oh, if you're moving soon, then, like, oh, are you?" He said he wanted to move just because it was closer to work, and I said, "Oh, is there any other reason that you're moving into it as well? Like, is the neighborhood nice, or any other factors to why you're moving?" And he got really fucking tense and angry. And he got really disturbingly weird for a few minutes until he admitted, I live with my ex. And I was like, huh? Oh, okay. And he was like, I'm moving out soon. Don't worry, we're literally moving out by this Monday. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And he was like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to freak you out or make you scared or not want to be around me anymore. And I said, well, that's really fine. Like, and I said, people have their situations, life happens. I'm not tripping. And, I've only been away from my own ex for a few weeks, so it's fine. But I remember specifically the topic of his ex did come up, and he said, "Oh yeah, I've been separated from her for like basically half a year, and then only like within the past like month or so have I really decided to get back out there and start dating. She's dating too, so don't worry, it's a totally dead situation. Like we're basically just roommates, and we both plan on moving out separately into different spaces." And I was like, "All right." Then first date went amazing. Second date went pretty damn nice actually, and like what really annoyed me is that imagine you wake up after your second date in the man you just had a date with bed. You didn't have sex or anything, you just slept over. And then you wake up to a girl standing in the doorway like just fucking eyes wide, mouth open type shit. And she's gobsmacked and you're terrified. And he's like staring into and he's just like next to you just like, "Oh shit." And let's just say, after a very, very, very brutal fucking fight, Jesus Christ, why do liars keep putting me in situations where I need to get into fights? I'm not even a fighter, Jesus. But I did have to backhand that bitch. It's a long story. She attacked me first. There's a scar on my neck that actually only just no, it's still kind of there. It's like yeah, Jesus. She's a psycho hose beast. But he's a fucking liar. Because it turns out the fucking truth is I remember that mere minutes after the fight ended and he was calling a lift back to my city, I was like, so considering all this just happened, with the whole fight happening and the wig throwing and all that and the vandalism, and I'm still staying calm, I think I can handle the truth. Can you just tell me the truth so at least I can know going forward? Because I'd like to know. And I feel like I'm kind of at least owed it at this point, so I'm not confused. And he liked that I was peaceful, so he said, well, you know how I said that I wanted to leave my ex like 6 months ago, but how we technically like only just within the past few weeks broke up. And I said, no, you absolutely did not fucking say that. You absolutely said that you two were separated. And this nigga tried to gaslight me. His twink ass. He was like, I mean, if you want to see it that way. Something about the specific way he said it made me fit. I thought to myself, I've already backhanded one bitch. I could backhand this nigga too. And in hindsight, I should have really just been like, I should have waited until the lift he called me came, backhanded the shit out of this nigga, and then got in the car. Or maybe the lift driver would have freaked out and canceled the ride. So maybe it's better I didn't. But yeah, fuck that guy. Another thing Morgan did, because of course a lot of lying stories tie back to Morgan. I remember Morgan lied specifically about, like, when we first met. I remember I didn't realize this was a lie, but he made up a bunch of sex stories. He once said he fucked like 3 different women in the same day. He was like, yeah, early morning I fucked my ex and she was bouncing a screamer, and then in the afternoon I met up with this one chick who I wanted to get with for a while, and I skipped school to fuck her, and then after swim meet I went to this party and there was this girl there and I fucked her in the bathtub. And I remember I thought to myself, this is just disgusting and makes me not want to have sex with him. That's a walking STD that's right there. Turns out he made the whole thing up. He made up a whole bunch of shit to me. He was just lying about an obscene amount of shit. He did stop for a while, but I remember like, but let's just say it took a while for him to get it together. He lied about something really fucked up. I forget when it was. Oh, I remember. This is why I kicked his ass. So, eventually, there was a point in time where me and Morgan, despite us dating, we still were non monogamous, but he was having a period of time where he was getting increasingly paranoid about me seeing other people, even though I truly was only seeing him and talking to him. He was getting erratic and paranoid and actually kind of scary and disturbing with it. It was freaking me out. Um, and I remember at some point Let's just say it was an evening, and I don't remember fully how it came up, but I think he hit me with like two fucked up facts. He said something along the lines of, "Actually, I don't think I want to like. I don't think I want to pay all the bills if I have a wife, and actually, I don't even think I want kids or to get married." And he just said that out of nowhere, and it felt like my world fell apart because like, nigga, you've been hyping me up for months, saying that this is what she wanted, and now you're just canceling it. Okay, whatever. But then another thing came up. I forget how it came up. I really don't remember. But eventually it came up that eventually he got a girl's phone number at work. I didn't ask if he asked for it or if she gave it to him, but even then he could have lied either fucking way. But all I know is this nigga lied, was pretending for months, unnecessarily sabotaging a perfectly good bond we had because he was secretly trying to get with other bitches and text other bitches and have phone calls and meetups with other bitches. And that pissed me off. Not because I cared about him seeing other bitches, but solely because it's like, nigga, I have been telling you since the dawn of time. You are not my man. I am not your girl. And even if we were, I do not give a fuck if you fuck other people. Just wear condoms and out of sight, out of mind, or just don't make it fucking weird. And it's like, so whole time he's acting like I'm just gonna go around slutting around and he's paranoid about me and he's the one who's actually doing it. I've never understood cheaters who do that logic. Just cheat and or just fucking peace. Because it's not even cheating. It's like we are non monogamous. Why are you fucking we are non monogamous? Why are you panicking about me finding out at your bitches? And why are you panicking about people when you know I'm not seeing anybody? It was the most I see, this is what I mean when I say I hate when slutty ass people start drama. Like just be a slut, don't bring any unnecessary drama into it. Like, just fucking Jesus. Like, Jesus. It's like these niggas can't even just fuck someone else quietly anymore. They have to cause a scene and cause issues. Like, what the fuck is wrong with them? Niggas used to have secret families, and now we got these types of niggas? God damn. Well, okay, I guess I shouldn't complain, but still. Let's just say. Eventually, let's just say I remember that evening so specifically. I was like, okay, you know what? I can't have sex with you because I'm not over it. Like, you just told me that, and that's fucked up. You've been ruining every interaction we've had for the past several months because you wanted to be all arrogant and paranoid and strange to the point of getting almost like emotionally abusive and always asking to go through my phone while hiding your phone and claiming that there's no issue. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like I could tell for months that something was up with him anyway because it's like he would always be like, give me your phone, I want to go through your phone, give me your phone. I'd be like, you're not my man, why do you want to go through my phone? Also, there's nothing you need to find, so stop it. But then especially once I would fire back, okay, give me your phone, then he'd be like, no, or never mind. And it's like, yeah, see, because you got some secrets too, slutty ass nigga. Like, be a slut in peace. I hate niggas like this. God, they fucking annoy me. God, I hate Norton. I'm gonna go on so many fucking rants today. Ooh, I have it in my arsenal. I'm very mad. But I'll say this, I remember I just was like, you've been fucking up what we've had for months, and I'm so angry at you and pissed at you and disgusted that you kept this a secret and that you have been, like, just wow. I'm not having sex with you tonight. And I remember I was so dead ass serious. I was like, we are not having sex tonight. And he was angry about that. And let's just say he tried to grab me by the wrist and he tried to force me onto the bed and grab me by the waist and do some WWE fucking chokehold ass, like hands around the waist, like suplex moves onto the bed, trying to literally force me to stay on the bed, pinning me down, trying to breathe in my ear and kiss my body unconsensually. And anytime I tried to get off the bed or go towards the door or get dressed, he would just try to force me back onto the bed, and it got really, really bad. And I kind of knew to myself the only way I can get out of this is if I comply, because of the implication that I'm gonna get hurt a lot worse if I don't. So I remember the specific way that I was like, okay, okay, I'll do it, I'll do it. And then, and then he seemed kind of satisfied because I guess he felt like he won. And then he got up close to me, and he was like an asshole. He couldn't even just like stick it in. He wanted to act like it was still some sort of sensual romantic encounter. It's not. He wanted to still do the bullshit. And let's just say I'm a very smart lady. this is also how you're supposed to get out of rape or rape-like situations. Piss on that nigga or say you have to pee. Do either or. It won't fully stop them, but it can at the very least stun them. And I remember I was like, wait, baby, wait. Hold on, I have to pee. I just have to pee. But in reality, my eyes were twitching, my face was going a little twitchy, and my vision was blacking out, and I was seeing static. And I was losing control of my limbs, and I managed to walk over to the mirror, and I looked at myself, and I looked at him, and I stared at myself and felt myself collapse to the floor onto my knees, staring into the mirror. And I saw how my vision got more and more staticky, and colors were weird, and like damn near shrimp colors, kind of. You know how it feels when you stand up too fast? I think it was kind of like that, but it was also mixed with the mental condition that I know I do have. Let's just say my vision was flickering real bad and a blackout episode was about to happen. Someone else was taking the front seat, is another way I can phrase it. Let's just say I still remember bits and pieces, and I remember enough. But I lost control. I stood up, I turned around, I looked at him on the bed, relaxing, with his arms behind his head, and his eyes relaxed, totally normal, unfazed by anything I was doing. And I raised my arms, kind of contorted, so it looked like I was stretching, just to quickly reach behind me very fast. I grabbed a metal water bottle that was sitting on his wooden dresser, and I flung that shit so fucking fast that it only was like a fucking few inches above his head, and it struck a huge fucking crack in his wall, and he was like, holy fucking shit. He was like, huh? And he was stunned. He was like, what the fuck? And before he could process that, I grabbed another one, did the same shit. Boom. A second fucking hole right above his head, and that one was even closer. He stood up. He was like, hey. I reached for another water bottle. I threw that shit. I forget if it hits him or not. Next thing you know, I'll put it like this. I'm going to remember as much of what I did as possible. Let's just say, yeah, he approached me. I think I grabbed a handful of his hair, and then I remember that he was trying to attack me with my arms, and I get my arms down, but I kicked him in the dick and balls as hard as I could, and then I kneed him in the stomach, and then I kneed him in the chest, and then I slapped him in the face a bunch of times and just started punching him and pulling his hair. I was pulling the shit out of his hair, and then we ended up on the bed, and then one thing led to another, and then next thing you know, I was just like fully, he was on top of me. At this point, he's not really trying to rape me anymore. He's just trying to get me to stop, like, fighting him or throwing shit. He's trying to incapacitate me, but I still wasn't backing down. You had never seen me. I just thought to myself, go fucking feral, do it. I bit into that man like he was the world's juiciest, crispest fucking pork chop. And he started screaming and yelling and begging me to stop. And I started digging my nails into his back as hard as I fucking could. I'm pretty sure I even broke a fucking nail doing it. Two, actually. And if I remember, I peeled that man like an orange. I had rolled up bits of his skin underneath my fingernails. It was beautiful. Oh, it was beautiful. Ah, man. I made that man fucking white and blue with red stripes, like the American fucking flag. And it's so funny how he's not the type to hit women, but he's the type to rape them. He's one of those types. So I was able to kick his ass pretty easily. More went down. I was vicious with it. I was, at some point, I was also just taking out my anger on him from just like a fucking year straight of pent up bullshit at his mistreatment of me. And yeah, I'm happy as fuck about that. And I feel good doing it. He deserved every fucking second. I wish I hurt him more. Or, no, actually, I think actually, like, if I could relive that day. Ooh, it's been a full year since, and I still get happy as fuck remembering that day. It was a terrible year with him. Whoop that nigga's ass. Sometimes you gotta. And I remember as I was kicking his ass and he was saying, no, please stop, please don't. I was like, oh, so now you know what fucking no means. So now you know how to stop. So now being touched doesn't feel so fucking good. And then, it took a while for me to come down. And I was still shaking and twitching and shit. But I remember this asshole still had the nerve to eventually, he sat up in bed and he was really trying not to take me home. He was trying to be like, can we just stay? We can cuddle, please. I was like, fuck no, take me home, bitch. I'll hit you the fuck again. And he was like, can you at least mend my wounds? Can you tend to my wounds? I said, shut the fuck up. It's so loud that he started shaking and shit. He's a bitch. But yeah, fuck that nigga. Yeah, and if you're like, Tamia, how's that rape? If you don't see how trying to, it's like every statistical way you can see that as rape, it's rape. Because if someone was trying to pin you down and basically restrain you from the right to leave your a place safely without threat of violence or harm, and if you cannot physically free yourself from someone overpowering you as they pin you to a bed and demand and beg you have sex with them, yes, that's rape. Yes, that's rape. I'll put it this way: people are conditioned to think that rape is just like some like some fucking stranger attacking you in an alley. They don't want to see it as like, oh look, the guy you're dating is just begging. Really, it's like, no, he wasn't begging; he was demanding. Like, it's like people think that Wolf of Wall Street scene where Jordan Belfort rapes his wife is funny. It's like, no, think about it. He put her in a position where she was begging to leave. He was refusing to let her go until she said yes, and she clearly did not enjoy it in the fucking slightest, like at all. Like, and he was a violent man. I'm just saying. So yeah, that's how I feel. This shit is terrible, dude. It just wow. But yeah, whoop that nigga's ass really good. And I know that's a lot from the original topic, but I guess it's just like I don't know. It just ties back to the point that it's like all this could have been avoided if the man simply would have been a slut in private, and or if he just simply didn't lie and fuck up. It's like, why are you trying to lie to a girl you're in a non-monogamous little thing with, and say that you're not seeing other people, and then also trying to instigate as much drama you can as if I am? Because him lying fucked it all up. We could have had a peaceful little bond had he not done that. But you know what? You can't fix stupid. Some niggas just lie for the sake of being stupid as fuck. So, whatever. I always hate liars. They're so goddamn pathetic. Gaslighting and lying is like, wow, you really think I'm that fucking dumb? Or it's like, wow, you claim to love me, but you trust me that little to think I would have a good reaction? Or, wow, you wanted to impress me by becoming the very thing I hated because you couldn't trust that you were actually genuinely loved when there was love there the whole time, you just had to believe it? Me and Riley, like if Riley simply said, I broke up with my ex a few weeks ago and I'm just trying to date to see what's out there, like he could have said that. He had no reason to lie because I had already told him I had been separated from my ex for a few weeks. He had no reason whatsoever to lie. And then it's like, Morgan lied a million times about everything under the sun, and he didn't need to do that. But some people just don't have it in them to be decent, and that's just who they are at their core, and they will put you in disgusting situations. So fuck lying. It's just fucking disturbing. Peace out. Oops, almost flashed you my titty. Ooh, wouldn't that have been a reward for lasting that long? Ha ha ha, that was scary. Peace.